Welcome to Agent Unstuck Calls, where we talk to real estate agents who are experiencing a challenge in their real estate career and they're looking for an alternative solution. Hi, I'm your host, Mike Cerrone with MastermindAgent.com, and I'm excited about this episode, so let's go ahead and jump right in. How can I help you today? What challenge are you experiencing in your real estate practice?
Okay, so just to give you a brief background, I started in 2018, January, and then it's been okay because I'm part of a team, so my split is 50-50. So after split, it's about, I think, in the 70 to 80K range. After the split, that is what I get. So it's kind of like, is that hard to break over that number, right? Hard to. That's one thing. The other thing is I signed up for online lead generations and all, but all the leads are mainly, I would say, all of them are. Well, majority of them are crappy leads, I would say. Even though I took that service, online lead generation, they have website and all, but it's not working. I tried Facebook by myself. I got a couple of closers from there, but nothing major. And the other one is, I don't know, it might be an issue or not, but so I'm basically from India, right? So most of my clients are from India. So I'm trying to break into other ethnicities and all. So that is what I'm facing a challenge as well.
Very good.
So main is lead generation, what everyone always talks about.
Right. So which of those topics do you want us to talk about? We have a limited amount of time. We can dive into any of those. Which one is the most pressing?
The lead generation one.
The lead generation?
Because currently I only rely on a few referrals and my team leads, right? Not my own ones. So I just want to be independently generating leads before I get out of the team.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions and go down a path or two here. So I heard you, and I heard what you said. I heard that you're. It sounds like you've immigrated from India. You know a lot of people in the Indian community where you're at now. You understand the culture and what their needs are. You've got a couple leads from that. My question to you is, have you considered leaning into that and making that your niche? Do you know how many folks are there in your area that are from India? Is there a large community that you could tap into and make that your niche?
Yeah, it's a large community. I thought about it, but then at the same time, every other house here as an agent, right? So if I had to go pass through them, then most of them, they ask for a cut from my commission, which I'm not ready to basically do. Because that's what it is. And that's why I wanted to tap into other communities as well.
Okay, great.
If not right away, but maybe later on. So
sure.
Down the road, yeah.
Well, when I see an opportunity, I have to address it, bring it up, and ask you about it. Let's go talk about the online leads. Those are the hardest leads to work, of course. They're easiest to purchase, the hardest to work because they have no connection to you, and they may have even been sold to other people. So typically, the conversion ratio on those is around 1% is a typical average, which means you've got to go through 99 no's to find that one yes. My question to you is, are you doing that? Are you calling through those online leads to find that person that does want to, in fact, move right away?
I have been calling all of them. And so far, one was a good lead until I met her. And then I'm still in touch with her, but she's ready to go. And she just doesn't have that plan set up and not enough down payment and all, right, for what she's planning to buy. Other than that, there were a few other leads, but then most of them were shopping around and couple of them were looking for leads. So yeah, I have been calling them regularly.
How long have you been pursuing the online leads?
Oh, this is only for like 3 months now.
For 3 months, about 90 days. And how many leads did you get?
So far I got 11 leads.
Okay, wow, that's not a lot. Okay, but 11 leads. And from that, you've already found one that looked pretty promising, that she just needs to get her financing and to get this down payment.
Yeah.
And then the others had some interest, but they kind of fell out for one reason or another. So how are you paying per lead, or are you paying per period, an amount of time?
So this has been set up by my team, the company. So I don't know how much they are paying, but that's what they have been doing, because their own leads, which they usually get it like, organically or through reference, are all mainly going into pre-construction condos and all, right? So for that, they don't need me, like my team, they don't need, like my company, they don't need people like us if they want to sell a pre-construction condo, because they don't have to go out of the office to do that. So this is what we recommended them, that we need something like a lead generation, and then so that's what they agreed for. So I don't know how much they are paying, but it's a bulk amount. So we're like 4 members in the team. So all of them, it's like a round robin lead. So that's why each of one got only 11.
Okay, got it. Let's go a couple of different directions here. So is your objective to continue with the team or break out on your own?
Break out on my own, yeah.
Okay, so that's why you need your own lead generation, your own lead source.
Yes.
You haven't been there long, a couple years, right? And so it's kind of a new town to you. Is that correct? Been there maybe 3 years?
No, I've been here since 2015 May.
Okay.
But real estate, I started in 2018 January.
So you've been there 6 years. How many people do you know? Have you created a past client sphere of influence database of the people you know?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, yeah.
And tell me, how big is that database?
50, about 50 people.
About
It could
50
be less than, yeah, it could be a couple of less or more, but around 50.
Okay, and you have that formalized? Is it sitting in the database, or do you have it listed on paper? Where is that?
Yeah, I have it in my diary.
In your diary?
Not a diary, but I have it written down.
You have it written down? Is it in a CRM? Do you have an active program going out to those people?
Yes, I have entered all of the information in that program called Constant Contact.
Okay.
So that's how I email them, all the new projects and all.
Good, because that's usually the best place to start, is the people who already know, like, and trust you. It's always the best place to start. It's the best, easiest business to get.
Easiest, yeah. I have had not many, but few experiences. Those were the easiest ones.
Yeah, they're the best by far. And what you could expect if you have a good program going out of that is about 5% of the list. If you have kind of a basic program going, would send you a repeater referral. So in your case, out of 50, that'd be 2.5 closings a year. If you were really at the top of your game and amazing and one of the best agents in the world at this, you could get up to 20% of the list. That'd be about 10 closings in your example. And if you were more average, but you had a good solid program going, it'd be around 10%, or about 5 closings a year. What's your average commission there? I know where you're at in Toronto, the house prices are pretty high, aren't they?
Yeah, it's high prices. And so average commission, if you talk about percentage for buying,
no, not percentage, just dollars. How much dollars?
Just dollar, if you say about 18 to 20,000.
Yeah,
average.
Right. So 18 to 20K per closing. And if you had 5 closings a year out of your database, that's about 100K, yeah?
Yeah.
What is your goal in GCI? What do you want to hit?
This year I have written down 252K, to be
252
honest.
is your goal?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So 252 is your goal. And how many closings would you need to achieve that?
About at least 25.
Okay. And that's on in your current arrangement with your split on your team, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I just
With
take
an average price of 800,000.
very good. So I'm just going to take the total GCI number. Your total GCI number to hit 252 would be about 13. That'd be my guess with your commission at 20. And then you mentioned though you've got the split, and so and that's why you're saying 25 for everybody listening to us.
Yeah.
So you'd really have to hit around 500,000 in GCI. And that brings us to the 25 units. And if you get half of that, that's where you're walking out with and taking home 250. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Cool.
could be less than 500 because after certain dollar amount, then the split becomes higher, but not a big difference. It goes to 60 instead of 50.
Sure. Yeah, and usually that's a really good arrangement. I'm a proponent of teams; they can work really well. It really comes down to is everybody getting what they expect? So, is the team leader getting a productive agent, and are you getting a lot of leads that you can be productive with? And right now, it sounds like maybe that's not quite happening. Is that true?
Yeah. So, well, to be honest, this year, except for one, all of my closings were through the lead from the team. Right? So, sitting at around 78 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I still want to be on my own, right? Because these leads are not guaranteed anyways.
Okay.
I know company also wants to give leads and make money, but if they're not able to do it, or maybe the criteria are different, right?
Sure.
And the other thing I wanted to share with you, I know time is limited, but I want your opinion on this one. I'm thinking about, not planning, that to go all in on pre-construction and just leave the resale to referrals only.
Okay. And why do you want to do that?
First of all, less competition, more commission, less headache, and not so much of running around.
I love niches. I think they're great. I love to narrow in on the tightest niche possible, and that's where you will find a lot of profits. So let's walk down your proposal. Your proposal is to help people buy a new construction house before it's been built, and then you wait the 6 to 9 months, whatever it takes for it to be built out, and then it closes and everybody wins. My question to you is, how do you propose to find those people that want to buy a new construction house?
Online lead generation and some of through referrals or past clients who have made up some equity in the house and then they want to invest as put the money for an investment property.
Okay. And have you pursued that? Have you started down those paths?
Yeah, I had a few, closings in that.
You were able to generate leads for pre-construction?
Through Facebook, I tried, but I only got one so far.
But you did get somebody who closed?
Yes.
Tell us how you did that. What happened that you were able to find somebody who wanted new construction?
So, he didn't end up buying new construction, but he did end up buying a house, resale house. So I put an ad for one of the projects that was coming out in downtown Toronto. So, and then someone signed up on my Facebook page through the ad. So I called him and he said, no, I'm not looking for this. I'm looking to buy within like next 3-4 months. I want a house. So that's how I found him. And then I tried after that few more times, but no luck after that. And honestly, I haven't tried since last 6 months. Facebook, I only do organic post and all.
Okay. So you had some success with it. You weren't able to duplicate it, and you haven't really been pursuing it since then. So
Yes.
what you got to do is you got to pick which avenue you want to go down and become an expert, right? And becoming an expert, you're going to have a lot of failures as you're moving, a lot of things that don't work out. And as you're going to learn from each of those experiences, and that's how you become this expert in the niche. So if you decide that you want to go after a niche, you got to go all in on it and keep moving down that path, right? And it doesn't matter really which direction, as long as you have a direction. If you have none, you're going to go everywhere, right? You're not going to go anywhere because
That's
you have
what
no
I'm
direction.
doing right now.
You'll spin around.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, basically.
I can tell. And that's a common problem. That's a common challenge of everyone in the business, not just a couple years in, but even 10, 15, 20 years in. People get into that mode where they're just kind of spinning and they get a lot of questioning of what they should be doing. So I've got an assignment for you. Ready? You have something to write with?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's your assignment. Your assignment is to pick the direction you want to go as far as lead generation. And you may end up maybe making a list of 5 or 10 that you like. And then I want you to pick which one has the most promise to you and you want to commit to for the next 12 months and really go after it and do everything you can to make it happen. That's the kind of commitment you're going to need to make a niche work. Okay, so
just to clarify, when it comes to like lead generation, either I go all in on whatever I'm doing or all in on Facebook or whatever, but stick to it for 12 months.
You have to stick to it because that's where the lessons are, right? We all are a little timid. Everybody, myself included, we all get in this mindset where we try something once and if it works, boom, we're happy and we're going to go that direction. But things rarely work that way, right? If we try something once and we turn and go a different direction, then we try that, that doesn't work, we turn and go a different direction, we try that, turn, go there. We never learn anything other than, okay, these 6 things, they didn't work, but I really didn't work them, right? I really wasn't focused on them. So did it really work or not? Now you know nothing. So what I recommend is you pick one of these niches, one of these lead generation concepts you have, and you go down that direction and you just start working it, but only pick one and get really good at it. So for instance, you could pick your past clients and sphere of influence and dive in and get really, really good with those 50 people. And you say, well, Mike, that's not going to get me to my goal. I know, but it's going to create a baseline for you that you can now generate money that you can get other leads in other business. Number one. Number two, you can use strategies to increase your SOI size. So you could get it from 50 to 60 to 70 to 80 to 100, maybe to 150 to 200 by using some techniques to start expanding that sphere. If you know how to do it really good with 50, you're going to just crush it when you have 200. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's the same idea of any of these things. If you want to go down the Facebook path where what you're really doing is you're trying to figure out new construction, right? You're trying to find out people that want to buy new construction. Well, you need to learn what their language is, how they talk, how they think, who are these people. You're going to create a demographic of what they look like as far as their makeup. And that way you can target them in Facebook or other mediums you may come into that you may decide to go after. But you may start going by all the model homes and collecting all that information and creating a database. And you see what I mean? If you start going down that path, you'll learn a lot. But if you just kind of put your finger in one pie and then taking it out, putting your finger in the other pie, taking it, you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Does that make sense? So your assignment is to write out your best 5 ideas, what you think would be the best couple of paths to go, and then pick one and commit to it. That's the assignment. My question, go ahead.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, when could you get that assignment done?
started, I can start immediately. Yeah.
Okay, when would it be done? When would you say this is what I'm committing to? When could you make that decision and commitment?
I think maybe right now. I think Facebook is the way to go. That's what I think.
When you say Facebook, that's too broad. You need to narrow it down. What do you mean by Facebook?
Basically, Facebook paid advertisements.
Okay, great. And that's the medium that you're going to go through. The question is, who's your audience? Who are you trying to get to and attract?
So I do like, let's say project is in Toronto. I do like 5 kilometer radius or whatever from that particular location. So that would be my target audience. And what I did in past was anyone about like, more than 25 years of age was my ideal target. And then subcategories like how much they make and all. But I think Facebook changed everything. So I cannot do like subcategories, but that's what I'm thinking.
So that's a good, you answered my question. I said Facebook and targeting. What I really want to know is a bigger picture thing. Who are you wanting to attract? In this case, are you going after people who want to purchase new construction, the pre-construction properties?
Yes.
Okay, so that's your target, is people who want to buy pre-construction. Your medium or your mode to reach them is through Facebook. Okay. And then you have to step back and figure out what your offer is and start testing that and see what would attract them to you. But you got to start with that goal of who do I want to help? In fact, write that question down. Who do I want to help? You got to identify that person, that group of people. In this case, what you've told me so far is it's new construction or people who want to build a house. That's the people that you want to talk to and attract, correct?
Yeah, someone who wants to buy from builder, like even if it's a condo, right? There are a lot of condos in Toronto because houses are very expensive.
Do you want now? See, now you're diversified. You need to narrow it down. Do you want to help people buy houses or help people buy condos?
Only condos.
Perfect. Good. So now you've narrowed the niche. Pre-construction condos. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And you're doing it in your area, and you mentioned a 5-mile radius. So here's my thought process. You now need to go out and find out what new condos are being built, learn the communities, and pick one community and become an expert, maybe 2 or 3 at the most. But you want to pick that community and specialize it and be the most knowledgeable agent on it, so that whenever anyone thinks about that community, they immediately think of you as the person that knows that all this information and that can help them get into that community and down the line sell and get out of that community as well.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what I'm going to ask you to do for your assignment is write down kind of your little plan of who you want to go after and maybe how you would go after them, what their goals are and how that can align with you. And you did a good job getting a direction. Excellent. Now you got to commit to it. Let's do this. Why don't you, since you have it already figured out, why don't you write it down and maybe send me your little plan by tomorrow, because this is your initial plan to get started. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
How about tomorrow at noon? Could you send me something by then?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Okay, cool. And that'll get you started on the path. And I think it'll create some clarity for you going through that process of writing out everything that you're thinking on this one topic.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Has this been helpful?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate talking with you today.
Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Well, that's it for Agent Unstuck calls. It was a lot of fun today. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and click that like button. And if you want to hear more calls like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when the next episode is coming out. And if you have any thoughts about what you heard today and you'd like to relay that to everyone else, go ahead and put that down in the comment section so people can talk about it. And finally, if you're stuck in your real estate career, you're a veteran who's having some challenges and you can't figure out how to get to that next step, go ahead and schedule yourself an Unstuck call. Just go to agentunstuckcall.com. That's agentunstuckcall.com, and let's get you scheduled in. You'll go in there, you'll fill out a quick survey, you'll find a time that works for you, and we'll get on a call just like this and see if we can't get you some answers. All right, this has been a lot of fun. I'm your host, Mike Cerrone with Mastermind Agent, and again, thank you for joining us on Agent Unstuck Calls. Take care.